And welcome. We are currently in Amsterdam, and we're going to be flying to Italy. We're going to Bologna, Italy, Borgo Paglie Airport. Uh, we have 146 passengers, and our fuel reserve, our total fuel on this flight, block fuel, is about 18,599 pounds. And the weather it's been kind of iffy today, but we should be able to get above these clouds. We don't have a lot of winds. It's just the clouds don't look good. So we're gonna go inside the cockpit. We're cold and dark in a 737-800 model Boeing jet, and let's go ahead and start our process. So we're going to drop the battery guard. We're going to align the IRSs by turning them to nav. We're going to start the APU. Give it a quick start so the all light comes on. Then we're going to kick it one more time. It's going to come up. We're going to hit position lights to steady, anti-collision light on, and I like the wing and the wheel well light on because you can inspect easier with that wheel well light on. Okay, any battery guard lights we're going to take down, and we're going to go ahead and do our initial position on our FMS. So you see here position, it needs an IRS position. We're going to take one of the GPS positions, left or right, or they'll be the same. Hit that, and then we're going to get our flight plan request. Let's request it here. Get some lights up there, some backlight. Load that and activate. And I see you've got an immediate discontinuity. I'm going to go ahead and double check our runway. We're coming out on 18 left on the REN 3 Echo departure. Wow, it's a lot of RENs. Okay, REN, Rove, REN. I don't see it. I don't see the REN. It says REN 3. REN 3 Echo. I've got a REN 2 Echo. What do you think I'm supposed to have there? No, that does say that's not and. That's REND 3 Echo. REND 3 Echo. Okay, so we're going to find REN 2 Echo and use it in place of REN 3 Echo. I don't know what else to do on that one. We'll see if that one will suffice. And also on our arrival, we're going to be coming in on runway ILS runway 30. Well, how's it going with you? Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. If you want, I will. I can be. not sterile cockpit yet, so I could take that call. I was checking our information here. That is correct, so we're going to have that in. But still, and when I did that, once I put my departure and arrival info in, we no longer have any discontinuities, so we'll take that. Let's go over here and go to airside services and load our flight plan and activate. And let it do its thing. It's a really, really dreary day here in Amsterdam. Can't wait to get above those clouds and see some sun. Yeah, he's in the closet. He's in the closet. Ours? We're going to go ahead and kick up the APU.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be taking off in just a few minutes. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
No, we won't. We've got stuff to do. Stop it. Yaw dampers down.
The cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Get a little bit of window heat going there to make sure windows don't fog up. Right, we should have passengers loading here in just a minute.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Thank you. Brian, would you please get our IFR clearance?
I'll get our IFR clearance now.
Flight directors are up. And auto throttle is on.
Schiphol clearance, Delta 7673, requesting our IFR clearance. We have India.
Clearance on request. Stand by.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all calls.
Delta 7673. Information India is current. Clear to Bologna via the Ren 3 Echo departure runway 18 left. Initial climb to 6,000. Departure on 118.08 squawk 5254.
Kind of a quiet day here today.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Delta Sky Team and our global partners, welcome on board your Delta flight. As you're making your way to your seat, we kindly ask that you please step into your row and out of the aisle as quickly as possible to allow those passengers behind you to make their way to their seat as well. If you're traveling with a larger rollerboard, please place it in the overhead bins, either wheels or handles first on either side of the aircraft. Keeping in mind that the overhead bin space is shared space, so if the bin directly above your seat is already full, please go ahead and utilize the next available space.
All right,
If you brought any second
we're ready
item
for
with you,
our
such as a
numbers here,
briefcase,
which
tote
is
bag,
our
laptop bag,
reserves are
backpack,
7.7.
you can go ahead and utilize that space under the seat in front of you, so that we can utilize that
we'll
overhead
load.
bin space for your larger bags without having to check them plain sight to your final destination. Feel free to utilize your mobile phones, tablets, and e-readers while we're here at the gate. However, once we close our boarding door, you must please place these items into airplane mode or turn off your cellular service. So we'd like to thank you all for choosing to fly Delta. Welcome on board.
In the flight plan, I'm pulling up now our numbers, takeoff numbers, and we'll make sure they're entered correctly. A little bit more info in the flight plan than usual for whatever reason. So, yeah. Okay, gosh, it took a while. It's really toward the bottom. We're coming off on 18 left with a flap setting of 5. Our center of gravity, now that our payload or loaded is now takeoff weight, the center of gravity is 27.3. So we're going to enter 27.3. That's going to give us a trim of 4.5. Set. And before I enter these numbers, before I lock those in, we're going to go runway wind, which is going to be 178 and 11 knots. Which you'll feel that one. You might feel that a little bit on this takeoff. And our flex temp is 4.8. Go back here. Now we can load in. It's what you'll watch, by the way. If you see no V speed there, you're going to watch what happens when I enter these numbers. See the V speed, no V speed goes away because we just entered them right here. So our V speed is 145.
Clear to Dublin via the pair for E departure, Dennis Fault, departure runway 18 left, initial climb 6,000 feet. Departure on the 118.08, squawk 36250, 361.
We'll climb to 6,000 and squawk is 5254. So departure 6,000.
On 12156, 361. Bye bye.
Initial climb is 6,000 on 18 left. And it has us cleared via the REN 3 Echo. There is no REN 3 Echo, it's REN 2 Echo. So I put in REN 2 Echo. RTO is activated. Let's back up a little bit. Panel is up, the lights on the panel, and turn TCAS to active. Although we're still on the ground, technically, but it's active now. Okay. Brian, can you get our pushback and start clearance, please?
I'll request pushback and start clearance now.
This is not a complicated pushback and start because
Skip full ground, Delta 7673, requesting pushback and start clearance. We have India.
you see where he's going. We're going that way too.
Pushback and start approved, face northwest.
So we're going.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
Put me right here.
Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
Strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others. A water evacuation is also unlikely, but just in case, LIPE Life vests are located under your seats in the economy cabin. If you're seated in the first class or business class cabin, life vests are either in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. If you're
You know, one thing I did not do correctly.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Zibo 361, gate Delta 54 is ready for push and start.
Delta 361, ship all ground, push and start approved. Face east.
Push and start approved, face east, Zibo 361.
We need to also. I'm gonna leave this down next to nothing. Our arrival elevation, I think, is like 170 feet, and we're currently at -11.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, engine 2. We're watching for 25. We would like that to come up to about 25 before inserting fuel.
Flight attendants, prepare your doors for departure, please. Cross-check and all call. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome on board your Delta flight. So in just a moment, we'll be showing you a brief presentation on the safety features of this aircraft. We kindly ask that you please direct your attention to the video monitors and flight attendants in the aisle, even if you are a frequent flyer. Thank you so much.
Welcome aboard,
You better not
and
damage
thank
my
you for
plane
choosing
there, buddy.
Delta for 100 years and counting.
Delta.
Delta. Delta.
Delta Airlines.
The health and safety of our customers and crew is our #1 priority and the shared responsibility of everyone on board. So, before we depart, please pay attention to this important message. Stow all carry-on items in an overhead bin and place smaller items completely under the seat in front of you.
Larger electronic
Engine one.
devices must be placed in a bag. Handheld portable electronic devices, including mobile phones, should also be secured.
Keep the aisles, exits, and bulkhead areas clear. If you lose an electronic device in your seat, please do not adjust your seat and ask a crew member for help.
As we leave the gate, fasten your seatbelt by inserting the metal tip into the buckle and adjusting the strap so it's low and tight across your lap. To release, lift the top of the buckle. If your seat has a shoulder harness, attach the metal tip to the fitting on the belt. To release, push the metal tip down. Stay seated with your seatbelt fastened when the seatbelt sign is on, and keep it fastened whenever you're seated in case of sudden rope air. In the event of rope air, the crew might also need to buckle up for safety. We appreciate your understanding if our service is interrupted.
Federal regulations require all passengers to comply with all crew members' instructions, along with the posted placards and lighted information signs throughout the cabin. Smoking, vaping, the use of e-cigarettes or any smokeless product, including chewing tobacco, is not allowed on any Delta flight. Federal law prohibits tampering with, disabling, or destroying restroom smoke detectors.
There are 8 exits on this plane. 8 doors, 4 on each side. Each door has a detachable slide that can be used as a raft.
In the event of an evacuation, leave all bags behind. Carry-on baggage will slow the evacuation. All exits are clearly marked with the green exit symbol. Locate the nearest exits, and remember, they might be behind you. If we lose power, lights will illuminate the aisles to guide you to an exit.
It's unlikely, but if cabin pressure changes, oxygen masks will drop from the panels above your seat and inside the lavatories. Reach up and pull a mask or streamer down to start the flow of oxygen. Remove any face covering and place the mask over your nose and mouth. Slip the elastic strap over your head and adjust the mask if necessary. Breathe normally and note that oxygen is flowing, so don't worry if the bag doesn't inflate. Be sure to adjust your own mask before helping others.
A water evacuation
I'll request
is also
taxi clearance
unlikely,
now.
but just in case. Life vests are in a compartment beneath or adjacent to your seat. To use, remove the vest from its container by pulling on the tab and then opening the pouch. Slip the vest over your head. Wrap the strap around your waist, attach it to the buckle in front, and adjust securely around your waist. As you leave the plane, inflate the vest by pulling down on the red tab at the bottom, or manually inflate it by blowing into the tube at shoulder level. A water-activated light is attached to each vest. For children under 35 pounds, place the vest around their waist and secure the strap between the legs. See your safety card for more information. Additional life vests for in-lab children are in marked compartments at the front and rear of the plane. We'll distribute these vests if necessary.
Before takeoff, bring your seat to its upright position and stow your tray table, footrest, and
Ropes
leg rest.
are on.
Be sure you fastened your seatbelt low and tight across your lap,
Packs
carry-on
are to
items
auto,
secured, and
and
armrests
isolation
are at
valve is
resting
to auto.
position. Or as otherwise indicated on the
Buses
placard in
have
front
been
of you.
turned on.
If you have a suite door, ensure it's
APU is
open.
off.
See placard instructions inside the suite door for opening
Altitude set by
instructions in
30
case of emergency.
And,
Finally, take a moment to review
bleed
the
is
safety
off.
information card in your seat pocket.
As we finish our safety check, please let us know if you have any questions.
As we take off into the future, sit back and relax. And from all of our crew, thank you for flying with Delta, today and for the next 100 years.
Alright, we're headed to the active runway. It sent us by way of Alpha, cross Alpha 8. Alpha 8, I think. Amsterdam is a busy airport. It's busy. I think I've had several friends who used to fly out of there pretty regular. It's a place you can get in trouble pretty easy too. You got to be careful here. Have a slight left in the curve here, and then it'll have us do a slight right to line us up with the runway. A little turn there. And then a little slight right. And we're going to be holding short right here.
Delta 7673, contact tower on 118.105, safe flight. Delta 361, contact tower on 118.105, take care.
Okay.
118.105, have a nice evening.
Hold short. Okay. We're going to turn off the runway lights and the taxi lights. Landing lights are on. Chronometers are reset. Flaps are set to 5. 1, 2, 3. RTO is active. We're waiting for this to go to switch to 5 here. There we go, easy there. We're good? Okay. Run, we're holding short. Runway 18 left. we're ready for departure.
Contacting tower for takeoff clearance.
Schiphol Tower, Delta 7673, holding short of runway 18 left. We're ready for departure.
Delta 7673, Schiphol Tower, runway 18 left, winds 180 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 18 left, cleared for takeoff, Delta 7673.
You always check, because remember, ATC does not talk to traffic global, and so you just want to make sure that you don't have any incoming flights truly are cleared for takeoff. So we're cleared. We're not using the full length of the runway, primarily because we don't need it. In this case here, we got plenty of runway. Line it up.
1 Alpha. Contact departure on 118.0 Echo Bergs.
Departure on 118.08 Lufthansa 1 Alpha. Amsterdam departure, Lufthansa 1 Alpha. At 2,300 feet,
Toga.
climbing 6,000 feet.
Well, not Toga really. We're hitting the endpoint, but
661. Contact departure on 118.0.
80 knots. Say
80 knots.
Okay.
V1, rotate.
Rotating.
Positive rate.
Gear up.
$400. $1,000.
Retracting flaps. And autopilot. Command A engaged.
Delta 7673. Contact departure on 118.0 H8.
Making a turn here to get back on track. It's kind of sharp left.
As we climb to our cruising altitude, we'd like to extend a special thank you to each of you, and a welcome back to our SkyMile members and Million Milers. Your business and loyalty are greatly appreciated by the entire Delta family. For your safety, it's important to remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened anytime the seatbelt sign is on. Even if the sign is off, please keep your seatbelt fastened in case we experience any unexpected rough air. We ask that you also please remember to use caution if opening the overhead bins to prevent injury from articles that may have shifted during takeoff.
As we go.
Now reach an altitude where it's safe to use approved electronic devices. And a listing of these devices can be found in Sky Magazine in the seat pocket in front of you. On today's flight in the economy cabin, it'll be our pleasure to offer you complimentary Coca-Cola products, Starbucks coffee, water and juices, a variety of complimentary snacks, as well as a selection of our fresh eats items and all-day goodies.
Delta 7673 is
Beer, wine,
at
and spirits are
050.
available complimentary for our first class
060.
and Delta Comfort Plus passengers, as well as available for purchase
Delta 7673, Schiphol departure identified.
A complete listing
Delta
of available
7673, climb
beverages,
flight level 240.
as well as of our fresh eats items can be found in the menus in your seat pocket. Please be reminded that Delta accepts only major credit or debit cards for onboard purchases of beverages and snacks.
And
however, you can use your Delta SkyMiles American Express card to save 15% and earn double miles on all Delta purchases.
Level change.
For your enjoyment, each seat is equipped with your own personal entertainment system.
Yeah,
on it, you can
click back to
view a selection of complimentary as well as on-demand TV shows,
RTO
movies,
is off.
and music.
Flaps
You'll
are
find that the
retracted.
screen will work best with just a light tap of your fingertip.
Checklist complete.
Feel free to use your own headsets. Otherwise, if you do need a headset, just let a flight attendant know they are yours complimentary for this and any future Delta flights.
Alright, we're pushing, we're almost at 090. We'll come, landing lights will come off at 10,000. This flight's going fast already. We're already, what's it say, we're 523 miles out, but looks like okay. Landing lights off. And engines from continuous back to off. Good. Big turn. 290.
Good evening. Request continuing on our previous IFR plan to the goal. Roger, Michael, consider.
Flight lever 290. Delta 7673. Brian, you know you're in charge of all comms.
Understood. I'll handle the comms from now on.
Did I guess I never did give him hand that off to him. Okay. Can't fuss at him for not talking on the radio. Right, so we are on climb. We're beyond 10,000. We've already turned our landing lights off, and I'm going to the approach ref information, and I'm going to go ahead and put our. We're going to be flaps 40 at 141, and 109.75 is our ILS frequency. 109.75. Course directors will be set for 294.
Delta 7673, contact Amsterdam radar on 128.58.
Switching to Amsterdam radar on 128.58, Delta 7673.
So one thing that it took me, when I first started flying the 737-800
Amsterdam radar,
Zibo,
Delta 7673. Evening climbing from flight level 160 to flight level 290.
I
Delta
would
7673,
have
climb flight level 290.
A perfect approach. I would be lined up perfectly with the runway, and I would be so proud of myself. And I would say, okay, I'm lined up. I've done everything, my descent, and then I would try to capture the localizer. I would hit approach, and the plane would start turning to the right, or the plane would start turning to the left, and it won't go back. I can't control it to go back. Just and won't line up, won't search for it. And then I finally,
Delta
I had to watch the
7673,
right YouTube
Amsterdam
video.
radar, climb flight level 360.
Climbing flight level 360, Delta 7673.
Finally found a YouTube video tutorial that explained how the course directors must be aligned with the runway that you're landing on for the frequency in order to line up correctly. And so once I did that, that problem went away. But that one lasted for about a week or two, and it was frustrating, and I just couldn't get a right answer. And finally, I watched the right video, watched the right source, and it made sense on approach that the course directors have to be aligned with the runway, and that way, when you hit the approach with the frequency, line up, everything works just fine. So, some of you out there are going, moron, it took you that long? Okay, yeah, it did. It did. We're 210. We're going to be climbing to 370. We're about 450, 460 miles outside of our arrival in Italy. It's not a terribly long flight. It's one thing about flying around Europe is how in Europe, 2-hour plane flight from anywhere. And that in the United States, how it's so much different when you're when you're in Charlotte and you want to fly to California, you're going to be sitting in a plane for for 4+ hours to get there. That's the one thing you have to be used to. But Europe, yeah, you can get here and there. It looks like a little bit quicker. It's below us right now.
Delta 7673, climb flight level 370.
Well, how nice.
Climbing flight level 370, Delta 7673.
370. Right. So now I won't have to worry with that again. We're climbing to our cruise altitude. Let's go check on our passengers. Whoa. Clouds right now. There was no way to go around the clouds in this case. If I'm looking at the map here, there's only one way to go right through them. I did find the best spot, but yeah, and we're about to hit some pretty bad weather through about 3 waypoints. Yeah, we are. I'm hoping what will happen here is we'll get above this. But yeah, we've got some horrendous cells. One of the cells is near the Misco waypoint. Yeah, that one looks really, the winds look bad on that one. Try to get around that. This should make me feel any better. I've got the weather map on. I've got a weather radar on right now, and I see a cell on my map that the 737 weather radar is not showing. So maybe it won't be as bad as I think.
Delta 7673, contact Langen radar on 128.555.
Switching to Langen radar on 128.555, Delta 7673. Radar Delta 7673, evening climbing from flight level 290 to flight level 370.
Delta 7673, Langen Radar identified. Guten Abend.
Yeah, we'll see. We're trying to get above this weather right now. But there's no getting around the cloud cover, but I'm trying to steer clear of any of the red cells. Or even the little more yellowish cells, but yeah, there we go. I thought I was going to be able to break free, and we've got about another mile of wiggle room here to get up above the clouds. There we go. Alright, so on our flight information, we've even already got our approach info loaded, so the frequency's loaded. So we're still climbing here. We should be by Aspen, we should be around 370, and we'll be at cruise altitude. Kind of nice up here. It's weather, winds. Got a little crosswind, but you see that crosswind, I think, when I'm flying. Let's see if you see it. Yeah, you do. So we're 450 miles from Bologna, and let's see here, coming in on ILS 30. And we will have a transition to line up with the airport. And the only thing I don't like about that is I think we will have an instrument, a precision approach, complete precision approach, because it looks pretty bad in Bologna right now. We'll see if they'll update us on the weather shortly, or I'll pull up another weather map and we'll look at a METAR. So I'm not running. I'm not using on this. Ever since I took off AutoOrtho and SimHeaven, which pieces of it look really good, but ever since I took it off and I kind of went through and made sure my plugins, everything was correct, but I haven't had any crashes, where it would get hiccup on something. But the AutoOrtho, I don't have to worry all the time about the INI files anymore. I can get into my custom airports without crashes, without like an occasional crash or whatever, intermittent crashes. And so it's been very smooth. So I'm really just waiting to see what XPlane does with scenery. And I am on 12.2 because if I've tried to go up to 12.3, started having crashes, part of that was Traffic Global. I think there's some conflict or incompatibility with Traffic Global, and I really do like Traffic Global, so I went ahead and just dropped back and punted, reloaded XPlane 12.2, and I'm going to hang here until some changes are happening or until the beta comes out and it becomes stable. But there's some things I'm just not happy with. Alright, we're leveling out at 370. I'm going to bring up our flight plan here on Navigraph. I've got it on. I use it on an iPad. That's why I usually don't bring it up on the screen, but I'll let you know where we are. In terms of weather, what I'm looking at right now is this. You see that? And here's our arrival area right here. Some of the storm cells that I'm monitoring, making sure we're okay. So anyway, I'm getting coffee. Take a break for a minute. I'm leaving things with Brian, which he doesn't do anything. Doesn't matter. He's pilot monitoring totally. Doesn't touch controls. Although they've got some new features coming out, I have not yet tapped. Let's look at them. I've got. See if they've got them in here, and I have just not been paying attention to them. Experimental. Let's see what we've got. Strict readback, no, none of those. Previews. These I'm not familiar with. I have to learn more about those. I'm turning on cabin crisis for now. Usually my flight attendant will say something to me, but I don't need that right now. All right, give me a second. I am getting coffee.
TBM Lima Tango Papa, I need you at flight level 300, sir.
Trying. I already told you, we're at max performance.
All right, we're currently cruising at 370. We're about 341 nautical miles outside of Bologna, Italy. And I've already entered, I'm going to walk through some of this, but I've already entered our approach information, frequencies entered. Our course directors are both set to 294 runway. We're coming in on as 30. It's been a very uneventful flight, except that when we get to our arrival location, it looks like the cloud cover makes this this approach a precision approach. What's a precision approach anyway? But it may not be as bad as I think. It seems to the things has seemed to move. Let's see. No, it is. It's going to be a. We're coming up. We'll have to come out from the cloud cover. We have some rain or precip, and we'll check the METAR when we get there. Y'all hang tight for a minute. I'm pouring my coffee.
Delta 7673, contact Langen radar on 129.355.
Switching to Langen radar on 129.355, Delta 7673. Langen radar, Delta 7673, evening, maintaining flight level 370.
Delta 7673, maintain flight level 370.
All right, life is good. I've got my coffee. Much better. Okay. We are 306 miles outside of Bologna, cruising at 370. Man, that's good coffee. I'm getting a burger today from a place called Upper Deck in Greensboro, North Carolina. Amazing, amazing. All right, let's look at this. So we're 139,000 pounds right now. I'm gonna say, let's just say that we're 138,000 by the time we land, roughly. But I don't do performance. So 100. 139. 1, 2, 3. Ah. And we're coming on runway 30 with brakes at 2. We're going to give it a 2. So it's got me at a VREF of 5, 143 knots. VREF plus 40 plus 5. Full flaps plus 5. 40 knots. And length of 2,185 meters. With plenty of runway left, so we're good. We're in great shape. We're going to be at 2, so we're going to set that to 2. And we need some light here. The light in this version of XPlane 12, it looks pretty good. The light, you can see everything pretty clearly. Back up. Be a shot there. It is dark. What's happened with time of day? It's crazy. I'd be curious if anybody is a Microsoft Flight Sim more than XPlane, because I really like the way that nighttime is portrayed in XPlane. Microsoft tries to illuminate from like bring the lighting up, it's like throttle up the brightness, and I don't think it looks real. It's not believable. Time for us to go to descent forecast, and we're going to try to request our descent winds. And let's see if it'll load some descent winds. No, okay. So, QNH is 1017. Okay, and we're going to enter some descent winds. We're going to put in 350. We're going to put in 250, and we'll put in 150. And you may wonder, well, where are you going to find that? I'll show you.
Delta 7673, Langenradar, expect the BNU 3 Whiskey arrival, expect to descend in about 20 minutes. Expecting the BNU 3 Whiskey arrival, we'll expect to descend in about 20 minutes, Delta 7673.
Let's check our arrival. Yeah, that's right, I got it, we're good. So you see our descent forecast winds here, 350. Hold a second, where am I? Okay, 350 says 250 at 65, so we're going to go 250. 65. Oh, I didn't do that right. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. 250. 65. 250 is 260 at 040. 260 040. And 150 is 240 at 24. You see how the winds continue to diminish as you get lower. And we're going to enter that. And it says here we're 174 miles from top of descent, and we'll be ready for descent here shortly. It does look like the clouds are dispersing or diminishing a little bit. So it may not be as bad as I thought it would be. Coming in, yeah, we'll be fine. .1017 is our HPA, okay, or our altimeter. Heading bug. Okay. Okay, so I'm a little thrown. So in Italy right now, I'm in the States, so UTC time's much different, but I'm in the States. It is currently where I am, 2:30 in the afternoon. Not so much here. Yeah, it's dark here. It's dark. We're going to have to reset for descent here in a moment, so let's look at our pattern of descent here, 370. We're going from 370 being managed down to 3,000. Looks like we're at 3,000 the longest. So I'm going to reset our altitude to 3,000. And then I'm going to let VNav manage the descent down. Let's see if we have any hard stops or at or aboves. Well, we do. Once we get to Kriva, we begin to have a hard stop, 5,000, 4,000, but I'm going to let VNav manage that. Let's see if he does a good job. Okay. I think he can. I was watching a video of the comparison of graphics, or like with Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and then having it like put up against XPlane 12. And I think the running, well, Microsoft Flight Sim 24 got won a lot of the rounds, in so many words, from the guy who was reviewing it. But I think some of it's preference. It is true. Some of the ground textures are better in Microsoft Flight Sim. In other words, they do a little bit better with like the detail of certain things. Runways, they don't do as good of a job at.
Radar on 133.55, Delta 7673. Delta 7673, contact Munich radar on 133
But on the the cinematic side, I think XPlane was going for the cinematic side.
Delta 7673, Munich radar identified. Good evening.
And cinematic being, I think they try to go with less contrast and saturation, and kind of make it look like it really would to the human eye if you were at 35,000 feet. And I think they do a better job at making something look real. Although it may look better with Microsoft. So I think it's just up to the one. Now the flight models and the actual flight dynamics and still XPlane hands down has the lock on that. They can't do better. Microsoft has not done better with that. But but with the nighttime skies, the way the nighttime skies look in XPlane look more believable than what they do in Microsoft. Microsoft tries to turn up the ambient light and try to make it look like it's like you can see everything, but that's not really real to life. And also on XPlane, a lot of the objects, like if it's a light post, it emits light and it illuminates the area. And with Microsoft, you can't tell where the light's coming from. It's just lit up. So certain things it does better. God got some good coffee. When it comes to coffee, I don't like going somewhere and getting my coffee. I like to bring it home and make it with a pour over and make it the way I like it. And no coffee, no frou-frou stuff, just coffee. But so I just love a good cup of coffee. Black Rifle, Starbucks, have more taste. Major Dickinson's blend from the grocery store. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I love coffee. Yeah, I confess. Got a slight turn coming up here, I think. Methinks. Right, descent checklist. Some things we already have set for approach. So we have anti-skid set to 2. Ground spoiler armed. Altitude set to 3,000. So it can be managed down by VNav, and then we can meet all our marks. Landing altitude, we've already got our QNH set for 1017. VREF's already set for us. We've got a VREF there of full flaps at 141. Actually, we'll be at 146. Auto brake is set. Navigation radio, all that, everything's set. The frequencies entered. Checklist complete. What we have to monitor on the way down is that our speed stays regulated. Sometimes we have to give it some brake, some air brake, to ensure that we don't go over speed or go too fast on the descent, and we'll just monitor that closely. I do not know this area very well and the elevations, but it looks like the elevations are primarily like, well, we're going into an airport that's at 170. Let's see what our exact elevation is. $123 feet. Put our altitude, landing altitude at 100. Okay. But I don't know if there are like little peaks or anything around here. I don't know. Not as familiar with the territory. See the traffic global flights that are around us. They've got what's out of British Airways, one in front of us, a couple there, Lufthansa, Emirates. I'm not sure what that one is. maybe KLM Airways. I don't know. It looks like we're kind of dodging the bad stuff if we keep at this rate. I never took the seatbelt sign off, I don't think. I didn't, did I? No, I didn't. Man, no, I don't care. I don't care, but just a note, I did. I could have.
Delta 7673, Munich radar, contact Vienna radar on 119.88.
Switching to Vienna radar on 119.88, Delta 7673.
Okay.
Vienna radar, Delta 7673. Evening, maintaining flight level 370. Delta 7673. Vienna radar, identified. Evening, sir.
Evening. How you doing? What's going on? You wanna hang out? Great. I think we are going to hit some. Oh, yeah, we are. At dog radar.
Contact Milan radar on 134.5. 3.
Contacting Milan radar on 134.5. 3, Phoenix 215. Bye bye.
I'm hoping to just see a second continuous cloud cover. But, I don't know who we're monitoring right now. We're on 119.88, but do you see it up there? I don't know. This bitch. Checking all my charts right now. Make sure we're best informed. Let's look at our weather. It says our visibility is great.
Delta 7673, Vienna radar. Contact Milan radar on 134.53.
We have a variable winds at 1 knot. 1 knot,
radar,
that's
Delta
it.
7673. Good evening, maintaining flight level 370.
That's great.
Delta 7673, Milan radar identified. Good evening.
Air France 16 November Papa. Contact approach on 134.75.
Bravo.
So basically, visibility is not an issue once we. Coast Guard. No, here's the thing. Shouldn't be the U.S. Coast Guard. What does it say? That'd be more accurate because it's not the U.S. Coast Guard. It's not in the middle of Europe. All right. General aviation plane. You see, okay, so this is a good example. You see how the light looks there? It's the areas that are illuminated have light, and the light comes from what's illuminating. Okay. Even over here, you see how that looks? That looks believable. On Microsoft, everything has a hue of light, and I don't think it looks real. It just doesn't. It doesn't in this case here. This looks, even the clouds here, the way the clouds have that kind of look, they look real. Okay. Brian, would you please get our descent clearance to descend on our arrival?
I'll request descent clearance.
Milan radar Delta 7673 here, requesting descent clearance for the Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna, holding at flight level 370. Milan radar Delta 7673, requesting descent clearance for the Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna, currently at flight level 370.
Delta 7673, cleared Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna. Whenever you'd like to send flight level 280. Delta 7673, descend flight level 280. Cleared Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna.
All right.
Cleared Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna. Descend flight level 280 at my discretion. Delta 7673. Descend flight level 280. Cleared Bennu 3 Whiskey arrival into Bologna. Delta 7673.
Zibo, guys, make a way to have them pop out.
Ryanair Bravo 826, Milan radar, climb flight level 260.
Attention, please prepare the cab for arrival.
And ladies and gentlemen, we have begun our initial descent. At this time, we ask that you kindly begin to recheck the security of your seatbelt. And if you've removed any items from the overhead bins, please begin to restow them at this time. Please check around your seating area and the seat pocket in front of you for any cups, glasses, or other articles you wish to discard. And kindly hand these items to the flight attendants as they make their way through the aisle. Thank you so much. We should be landing in approximately 15 to 20 minutes.
Gosh. We're monitoring the weather, but it says, according to the flight weather map, it says 0 to 1 mile per hour or not, 1 knot winds variable, and that's all. So I'm not anticipating a lot of wind.
Delta 7673, descend flight level 190.
Descending flight level 190, Delta 7673.
So far, speeds, you know, is okay. We're at about 950 feet, 1,000 feet per minute descent. The really bad cells are to our west, so we don't want to be anywhere out there 60 miles to the west, but we still have a heavy cloud cover.
Delta 7673, descend altitude 5,000.
Descending to altitude 5,000, Delta 7673.
Feeling it. Feeling it. I have no concerns about getting down to the right altitude because we have a transition to reposition, and we have plenty of time to continue to descend, so that's not a concern. So far everything looks good. Our fuel levels are more than good. Our weight, let's check our weight. Is at 136.8. We're still good there. 40 plus 5, 142. Oh, great. We're good. Delta 7673, light chop at 300.
Delta 7673, roger, noted light chop at 300. Zero for Yankee Foxtrot, descend flight level 220.
Wow, it's getting rough. We're in it. Okay, this is what I was talking about. This is kind of where we're coming through the clouds. We have nowhere to, other than diverting, we have nowhere else to go. We just gotta come through them. I saw no critical red cells or anything, so we just gotta go with it. We're at 240 and we're descending to 050 right now. Slow and steady. Okay, good. We're just breaking through here. Ryanair there. Our distance, by the way, from the airport, we're actually about 38 nautical miles from the airport, but we have some transitioning to do, so. Ooh, got a lot going on there. Leave it on. I'm relying on instruments just about solely right now because I can't see anything outside between the darkness and the precip.
Aero Italia 6464, descend flight level 110.
We're at 150.
Delta 7673, contact Bologna approach on 118.15.
Whoa. Switching to Bologna approach on 118.15, Delta 7673.
Our speed's an issue.
Bologna approach, Delta 7673. Good evening. Descending from flight level 150 to 5000.
Delta 7673, Bologna approach identified. Good evening. Expect the ILS runway 30 approach into Bologna.
Expecting the ILS runway 30 approach into Bologna. Delta 7673.
Landing lights, I'm going to go ahead and turn them on. It said we're at 130, but I've got the full flaps, my brakes on right now, air brakes. Trying to get slowed down. We're almost 10,000. And I need to get, so I got to get slowed down. I've got us down to 1,000 feet per minute descent. We're about to enter our downwind. We're about to turn on downwind. That's what we're doing now. I'm at flaps 1. I'm at flaps 5. We're at flaps 5. I'm bringing back the speed brake, putting it back to arm. We're at altitude jack squat. Can't see jack squat right now because I can't.
Zulu Bravo 738, Bologna Borgo Pani Gale departure. Wind 181 at 0 knots. Active arrival runway 12. Parking 107 reserved. Zulu Bravo 738, Bologna Borgo Pani Gale departure. Wind 186 at 0 knots. Active arrival runway 12. Parking 107 reserved.
Alright, this is not good weather. We should have a break here shortly. We're at 8,080 descending to what will be 030. We're at 1,000 feet per minute descent. Wow, it's gonna be a rough landing. Maybe not. But right, we're off of standard back to, and we're at 1017 QNH. We're at flaps 15. At 060.
Eurowings for Yankee Foxtrot, Bologna approach identified. Good afternoon, expect the ILS, runway 30 approach into Bologna.
I don't really think that windshield wipers would help right now. I don't think.
Ryanair 26, contact Bologna Tower on 120.1.
1.0.1 and about 6, thank you.
Alright, I'll try the windshield wipers, but I just don't think they're not doing a whole lot of good.
7673, 6 miles from Ablex. Turn right heading 275, descend altitude 3000, QNH 1017. Until established on the localizer cleared for the ILS, runway 30 approach.
Right heading 275, descend altitude 3000, QNH 1017. Cleared for the ILS runway 30 approach. Delta 7673.
Approach is active, by the way, right now. We're at full flaps right now, descending down to 3,000. That's why I use the fixed rings. That's my 10-mile mark right there. I know where I am. We're at 145 knots at full flaps right now. We're stable.
Delta 7673, contact Bologna Tower on 120.1.
Bologna Tower on 120.1. Delta 7673. Bologna Tower, Delta 7673, evening. We're established on the ILS approach for runway 30.
Delta 7673, Bologna Tower, roger, continue approach runway 30.
And here's what I mean about nighttime with XPlane 12 and how it looks so much better than Microsoft Flight Sim. It's more believable. The way it illuminates everything, it looks more believable. Are we within that 10-mile ring? We just entered inside of the 10-mile ring. Okay. We've captured the localizer.
Delta 7673, Bologna Tower, winds 300 at 3, runway 30, cleared to land.
Runway 30, cleared to land. Delta 7673.
landing gear down. Right, 2000. Get ready for throttle's mine.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Birch, altitude set.
Wow, look at that weather.
300.
Eurowings 4 Yankee Foxtrot, Bologna Tower, roger, continue approach, runway 30.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Right. Get that front gear down.
Delta 7673, welcome to Bologna. Contact ground on 121.9025.
Please remain
ground on
seated with your seatbelt securely
121.9025,
fastened
Delta
until the captain has
7673.
parked the aircraft at the gate and turned off the seatbelt sign. This will be your one and only indication that it's safe for you to get up and move about the cabin.
Bologna ground,
Please be
Delta
reminded to use caution when
7673,
opening
evening.
the
We're
overhead
clear of
bins.
runway 30
Determine
and ready to
injury
taxi to the
articles
gate.
that may have shifted during landing.
Delta
You may now use your mobile
7673,
phones
Bologna
and
ground,
other
taxi
handheld
to apron 2,
electronic
gate
devices
06.
while we taxi to the
Cross
gate.
runway 30,
However,
then
your
Bravo,
laptop
Charlie,
computers
Delta,
and other
Tango,
electronics
Tango,
must
Whiskey,
remain
Zulu.
stowed.
Have a good day.
Apron 2,
We
gate
invite you to
06,
visit
cross runway
delta.com
30,
for your
then
future
Bravo,
travel
Charlie,
needs,
Delta,
including
Tango,
checking
Tango,
in for a
Whiskey,
flight
Zulu.
and managing
Got
your
it.
strap miles
Got it.
account.
We're good.
If any of you should have questions regarding ground transportation, baggage claim, or any other information, a Uniform Delta agent meeting this flight will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. On behalf of Delta Sky Team, our global partners, and flight crew, we'd like to thank you all for flying with us. We've enjoyed having you on board and look forward to the opportunity to serve you once again. Thank you so much and have a wonderful evening. Flight attendants, prepare doors for arrival, please. Cross-check and all call.
Right. Switching landing lights off and putting my runway taxi lights on. I would prefer a gate to an apron because it's raining for my passengers. We'll see if we've got a gate. I know I'm a smaller plane, but let's see if I got a spot. What I did was I turned I connected the GPU. We've turned off. Now we can turn off the engines. We got power. Right.
4 Yankee Foxtrot vacated runway 30.
Eurowings 4 Yankee Foxtrot, Bologna ground, taxi to apron, 4 gate 205 via Tango, Tango Whiskey Zulu. Have a good day.
What I got knocked off for? I got 4 points, 3-point deduction. I didn't like my descent. It didn't like my descent. Okay, I'm with you there. I understand what happened. Our max climb. Wait, our descent. So I got knocked off for descent. I thought the distance was great. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna turn these lights back on.
Clear to Timisoara via the Luma 1 uniform departure, has filed departure runway 30, initial climb 4000, departure on 133.775, squawk 1211, Borealis 9007 Echo.
Borealis 9007 Echo, read back correct.
Okay, so if we look at the ground and the textures and everything, that looks good, doesn't it? This is stock scenery. This isn't anything from AutoOrtho or SimHeaven. Wow, it just looks really good. All right, one more and we'll head out. This runway to be a stock like this is Bologna, Italy. It looks good. The runway itself looks really good. Simple, and then the surrounding scenery and the city. It had a believable tone or believable quality to it. It was nice. All right, I'll see everyone on the next one.